The courtroom buzzed with tension as Ashton Kutcher adjusted the microphone, his hands trembling slightly under the weight of what he was about to say. The air felt heavy, like a storm was about to break. Reporters leaned forward, cameras zoomed in, and Diddy's legal team exchanged uneasy glances. This wasn't just another celebrity testimony. It was a moment that could change everything. For years, Ashton had been seen as Hollywood's golden boy, charming, funny, and always smiling for the cameras. But now, he sat in front of the world, not as an entertainer, but as a man who finally understood the truth he had ignored for far too long. He looked directly at the jury, then out into the gallery where people watched in silence, waiting for him to speak. "I'm not here to protect anyone anymore," he began, voice low but steady. "I'm here to tell the truth, even if it hurts, especially if it hurts." His words carried weight, and the room knew. This wasn't just about Diddy. It was about complicity, silence, and the dark secrets buried beneath Hollywood's glittering surface. Ashton took a deep breath before continuing, his eyes scanning the room as if searching for someone who might understand. "I met Sean through a mutual friend in the early 2000s, he said, referring to Diddy by his first name, as if trying to humanize the man behind the legend. He was charismatic, powerful, and knew how to make you feel like you were the most important person in the room." He paused, choosing his words carefully. But that charm came with a price. The prosecutor nodded, urging him to continue. "There were parties," Ashton admitted, his voice quieter now. "Private ones, exclusive ones. At first, they felt exciting, like being part of something bigger than yourself." He swallowed hard. "But over time, things changed. There were unspoken rules. You didn't ask questions. You didn't push back. And if you did, well, let's just say people found ways to remind you why you should stay quiet." He glanced toward Diddy, who remained expressionless, arms folded across his chest. "I used to think I was lucky to be part of that world," Ashton continued. "Now, I know I was just another piece on the board." The courtroom listened in stunned silence as the once beloved actor peeled back the layers of a life built on illusion and revealed the cost of playing along. Kutcher's testimony shifted gears as he described the infamous inner circle known as the New Hollywood Rat Pack, a group formed around Diddy and including Danny Mastersonson, Wilmer Valderrama, and himself. "We called it brotherhood," he admitted, voice laced with regret. "In hindsight, it was more like a machine." He detailed how the group started as a collection of rising stars bonding over success, but quickly evolved into something more insidious. "It wasn't just about partying," he explained. "It was about power, influence, control." He described how Diddy orchestrated events with precision: private jets, secret locations, all-night benders in mansions without clocks or windows. "You weren't just attending, you were being curated," he said. "Everything had a purpose. Every guest had a role." He hesitated before revealing one of the first red flags he noticed. "There were entire rooms at those parties where only certain people were allowed in," he said. "You had to be approved." When asked who decided approval, Ashton looked down. "Diddy?" he whispered. "And the people who worked for him." He recalled one specific night in 2005 when he attended a private event hosted by Diddy. "I thought it was just another theme party," he said. "I brought a date. Within 30 minutes, I regretted coming." He didn't describe everything he saw, but he did say this: "There were hidden cameras, people who looked terrified, rooms you didn't walk into unless someone tapped your shoulder." He turned to the judge. I signed NDAs that year. Multiple times. I thought that was normal. Everyone did it. He looked directly at the jury. But, looking back, I see what they really were. Not contracts. Warnings. The courtroom fell silent as Ashton described the darker side of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties. Events shrouded in secrecy, blindfolds, and hidden agendas. It wasn't just about entertainment, he said, voice shaking slightly. It was about control. He detailed how guests were required to hand over their phones upon arrival, and how some were even blindfolded before entering certain areas. They told us it was performance art, he said. But it wasn't. It was something else entirely. He recalled one particular event in 2009 where he was given a document labeled Green Light, a tag indicating he was trusted to access restricted areas. I didn't know what I did to earn that status, he admitted, but I knew what it meant. I could go anywhere. He described how some guests were ushered into separate rooms, never to be seen again that night. There were whispers, he said. Stories passed around like rumors, but no one ever confirmed anything. We laughed them off. We told ourselves we were imagining things. He wiped his eyes slightly, visibly shaken. But I remember walking past a hallway once and hearing a girl scream. I stopped. I looked, and I saw a security guard slam a door shut fast, like he didn't want anyone to see inside. He looked up. I didn't ask what was going on. I walked away. His voice cracked. That's what haunts me the most. I could have done something. I didn't. And I'll carry that for the rest of my life. Ashton's testimony took a chilling turn as he described the financial and business ties that linked him to Diddy beyond just friendship. This wasn't just about parties, he said. It was about money, influence, power. He revealed that many of his early investments overlapped with Diddy's network. Branding firms disguised as clubs, investment groups posing as lifestyle blogs. It was marketing, surveillance, and recruitment all rolled into one, he said. He described how Diddy introduced him to international financiers and nightlife moguls, opening doors that even top venture capitalists couldn't. Sean had connections most people didn't, Ashton admitted. He could get you meetings you'd never get otherwise. He recounted how shell companies were used to hide funding sources and how certain deals suddenly collapsed after he tried to distance himself from Diddy. I started pulling back in 2014, he said. Told Diddy I was done, that it wasn't for me anymore. He looked directly at the jury. He said, "You don't quit. You're in or you're out forever." A few days later, 3 of his investment deals mysteriously fell through. I got a call from a mutual friend, he continued. He said, "You made someone nervous." Ashton wiped his brow. That's when I realized I wasn't just stepping away from a party. I was stepping away from a system, and systems don't let you leave quietly. He described receiving a USB drive in 2017 containing footage from a 2012 party. Nothing illegal, he clarified, just embarrassing. But it was a message. They wanted me to know that if I spoke up, they had proof that I was there, that I played along. He looked at the judge. Fear dictated my decisions for years, not just mine, everyone's. Kutcher's voice grew steadier as he described the fallout from distancing himself from Diddy's world. After I pulled back in 2014, he said, things started changing for me. Projects I was attached to vanished overnight. PR deals fell through. Executives stopped returning my calls. He turned to the jury. It felt like I was being slowly erased. He described a particularly disturbing encounter in 2017 when he ran into Diddy at a charity gala. He hugged me, told me I'd been missing out, Ashton recalled. Then he said, "You should be careful about what you don't remember." That line stuck with him. Shortly after, he received a mysterious USB drive at his office, an anonymous gift containing footage from a 2012 party. It wasn't incriminating, he admitted, but it was enough to remind me that my past was still watching me. He explained how fear dictated his choices from that point on. He didn't speak publicly, didn't confront anyone, just tried to move forward quietly. Every time I pulled away, something would come up, he said. A tabloid leak, a hacked email, a threatened lawsuit. He paused, voice breaking. I was scared, not just for my career, but for my family. Diddy didn't need to raise his voice. All he had to do was stop returning your calls, and that was enough to destroy someone. He looked at the judge. I spent years running, trying to scrub my image clean, but the deeper I tried to retreat, the more I realized the party never leaves you. Kutcher's final moments on the stand were filled with raw honesty as he reflected on why he finally chose to speak out. I got tired of erasing myself, he said, because the longer I stayed quiet, the more I became one of them. He admitted that by 2021, he had begun severing ties with Diddy's associates, closing dormant businesses, and deleting old photos from cloud storage. But the deeper I tried to go, the more people questioned my silence, he said. You ever try to delete a part of your life? Someone always has a copy. He described a chilling message sent to his wife in 2022, a photo of her with their children, captioned with a line from a contract she'd never seen. It wasn't a threat, he said. It was a reminder that even if you leave the party never leaves you. He turned to the judge. Your Honor, if there's anything this court needs from me, emails, records, names, I won't fight it. I've done enough fighting for the wrong people. A hush settled over the courtroom. Even Diddy didn't flinch, because, at that moment, it wasn't about celebrities or moguls. It was about the echoes of what they'd all tried to bury. Outside, the world was watching. Whether you believed Ashton was a hero trying to atone, or just another guilty man with a polished smile, one thing was clear. The curtain had finally been pulled back on the myths of fame. And what stood behind it was far uglier than anyone wanted to admit.